It's been a rallying cry for Republicans for the last 6 years to repeal the Affordable Care Act. And of course, President-elect Donald Trump, VP-elect Mike Pence, they have made it clear they have also promised to kill the bill, to kill the law as well.
We're going to get rid of Obamacare because
we'll focus on repealing and replacing Obamacare.
The Obamacare repeal resolution will be the first item up.
Well, President Obama is putting up a fight on the way out of office 2 days after returning from his last Hawaiian vacation as president. He will meet with Democrats today to fight to keep the law on the books.
This has become sort of a holy grail for Republicans, based on ideology and not facts. The fact is that we have the lowest uninsured rate in history. The fact is, despite all the predictions to the contrary, healthcare costs have gone up more slowly since I signed that law than any time in the last 50 years. The fact is that the law itself provides protections that are really popular. It's just people don't know it's Obamacare.
Well, that's part of the problem that Democrats have had in terms of actually selling this particular plan. Let's talk about this with our panel. Dr. Greg Carr, chair of the Department of Afro-American Studies at Howard University. Also, Lauren Victoria Burke, a political analyst and writer for NBC Black. Dr. Chris Metzler, a legal scholar, political scientist, and CEO of JMI Group. Angela Saylor, deputy to the chairman for the Gloucester Institute. All right, folks, glad you're here. I'm going to start with Angela and Chris. First and foremost, okay, Republicans have been promising to appeal the Affordable Care Act. But in 6 years, they don't have a replacement plan. Is it crazy to repeal this and not have a plan to say, we'll figure it out over the next couple of years, send us your ideas?
Absolutely not. I mean, we don't want to repeat what happened before. A plan has to be put in place in order for us to move forward so that this bill will be whole for the American people.
But they have no plan, and that's the problem. I mean, so they are literally talking about, we'll take your ideas and we'll figure something out. I mean, the last thing you want to do is, I don't understand. This is sort of like, let me fire somebody, and I'll figure out later who we're going to hire. No, you probably have a good idea who you're going to hire before you get rid of somebody. You might want to have a plan, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to have both repeal and replace, because the fact is, if you repeal it, you have nothing to replace it with. As they say, there will be pitchforks in the street, so to speak, because you cannot say, I'm done, we'll get to you later, we're good. We just want to give you this promise, and at some point, we'll figure it out.
And of course, go ahead.
Yeah, so I do think that there are some things that you will see eventually whenever the plan comes up. One, you can't get rid of the pre-existing conditions. Two, you have to allow children to be kept on their parents' health care. You definitely have to be able to do that. So I think at least those two things will have to continue.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure something out here, Lauren and Dave. So we can't get rid of pre-existing. We can't get rid of kids on the health care. If we got to keep subsidies in this deal as well, make it affordable.
So that's Obamacare, right?
Well, I'm just trying to understand, what are you getting rid of?
Right. The reason that they don't have a plan, a replacement plan, is they don't want to replace it with anything. They don't want to cover people. They don't care about covering people's health care. And so their plan is to dismantle it really without anyone knowing. If they can message that, if Trump can message that without anyone figuring it out, which I highly doubt when you have 29 million people on the plan, I don't think that they can get away with that. But unfortunately, Democratic messaging in the past has been so bad that they might be able to get away with it. Now, I don't think that they will be, because Nancy Pelosi is putting on a very specific, concerted effort to step up the messaging in a local way and not a national way, just coming out of Washington, which is really what they need. But can they pull it off? Can the Democrats pull it off? We'll see.
Well, Roland, I mean, that's why this space is so important. We have to shift the dialogue. The Republicans have a plan.
Yeah, they have a plan.
It's called Obamacare. He took it from them. They're saying they don't have a plan. No, you have a plan. What they can't do is admit that the reason they oppose this has everything to do with who proposed it, was Obama. They used this as something to parlay them with their way into political power, and now that they're there, like the Joker and Batman, they've caught the car. They don't know what to do with it. Why? Because they, in the sense that we opposing their own plan.
Right, which is why they branded his name to it.
Exactly.
Now, their bigger problem is that at some point, you know, when you take something, obviously, when you take something away from people, they're going to probably notice that.
And also, when we say people, let's also be clear. We're talking about a whole bunch of broke white folks.
Right,
They're voters.
exactly.
Folks who voted for Obama in 2008, 2012.
That's right.
Who flipped the Trump in 2016. And like, I read an article this morning that was just stunning to me, where there's one woman and her son on Medicaid. Son was covered. They complained about it. They didn't like Hillary Clinton for other reasons, but they say, yeah, we really need to keep the Affordable Care Act. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, Angela, that's going to be a problem for Republicans.
That's right.
It will be a problem, but we also have to look at small business owners who have really been hurt by Obamacare and their ability to be able to keep people on their payrolls and be able to give them health care. I mean, we got some other facets going on here.
They have federal subsidies, don't they?
They do, but still, small businesses are being harmed. You hear doctors talking about how this Affordable Health Care Act is hurting them.
Well, they're not going.
You have a good point there, but the thing is, at some point, the Republican Party has to decide to govern and have ideas. So if you want to fix the bill, then fix the bill. The president had proposed some fixes, so did the Democrats in the House. The Republicans rejected because they want to reject everything the president does. Now, without the president in the equation, they should move to fix that small business problem that you're talking about, which is a problem. And there are some things that need to be improved about Obamacare. There's no doubt about that. But can the Republicans govern is what we're about to find out.
Look, here's the other deal. First of all, the president is going to Capitol Hill today to meet with Democrats. I don't
know what they're doing.
Know what they're going to talk about.
Right.
But here's my piece. There's 16 days left in this presidency. He's going to have a big farewell event in Chicago on January 10th. My deal is go out fighting, Greg.
Come on.
My deal is this is what I would do.
He's not built like
this
that.
What I would
do
do.
that, bro.
I would say, Mr. President, go pick two cities.
Yes, sir.
In Wisconsin or Michigan or Pennsylvania that you won and now Trump won. Go there and make sure it's white as all get out.
That's right.
And say, you need to make sure that the law that actually gave you health care stays on the books. You need to be fighting for this. Challenge them on that. I mean, okay, fine, have a big farewell rally in Chicago, but go out fighting. To me, that's what you should do.
He's not built like that. First of all, pardon Marcus Garvey, that's easy. He won't even do the low-hanging fruit. He's not. That's why he cannot be allowed to dictate the terms for what happens next. Chuck Schumer looks like he's ready to ball up his fist. Keith Ellison probably needs to be the chair of the DNC, and Bernie Sanders is backing him. Obama needs to go ahead and go into that good night, brother, because you had 8 years to fight these folks, and you wouldn't ball up your fist before. I doubt we'll see that, and that's why you're not the president, brother.
With Congress before, now all of a sudden you want to meet with Congress, and he needed these people to forward his agenda and never talk them. But see, that outside-in strategy, I think, doesn't work. Yes, he could go and get some headlines and get some press traveling around, but the bottom line is what works in political advocacy is the outside-in strategy. We just saw with the ethiks thing where everybody got scared when the phones blew up.
But Chris, Angela, that's my point. If he goes, because first of all, folks need to understand, I've said this to him personally several times over the last 7 years.
Sure.
Man, take the message, not to a big city. Go to those places where they got bad health care.
Yeah.
Where they desperately need Medicaid, where they desperately need the Affordable Care Act, where it's 90+% white, and look them in the eye and say, I passed this law for y'all.
Right.
And you need to tell your senator and your House members, don't touch this law. You got 16 days left. Go out swinging.
Yeah, but he's not. He's not going to do that.
No,
I mean, he hasn't done it all this time.
That's right.
Well, no, I mean, look. He's had events, but what I'm saying is, look, you know they're gonna vote on it.
Right.
My deal is make life as hard as possible on them by at least challenging folks and looking them dead in the eye and saying, y'all think I passed this law for some black folks and some Latinos? No, there's a whole bunch of broke, sick white folks in America who desperately need the Medicaid and the Affordable Care Act. And in fact, the estimates are that some 16 million of those folks who have a health care, the Affordable Care Act, are white.
That's right. That's right.
But it goes back to what Greg said before. Look, The fact is, this president just simply, that's not his thing. I agree with you. That's what he should go out and do.
Yo.
He had 8 years to do it.
Yo.
He hasn't done it.
You got 16 days. Have that rally. I'm telling you right now. Have that rally real quick.
It's very interesting. The Republicans are their own worst enemies. Most of them don't have a governor at the House side. This REINS Act that they proposed yesterday will hamstring them so badly that they're not going to be able to dismantle Obamacare.
He already said Obama out.
First of all, again, Obama, that's what I would do. I would say, I would have one last rally and look them in the eye and say, no, you call them right now, make sure you keep this law. A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not going to let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this. If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally.
What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.